online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
I don't know why I came here tonight. Something ain't right.
Might talk TV tonight.
I think that we came here to talk about Grace and Frankie.
What up?
Hi, guys. This is AfterBuzz TV, and we are going to talk about Grace and Frankie on Netflix. We are getting down to the wire. We're doing episode 11 and 12 today, The Secrets and The Bachelor Party. We've been waiting all season for this. I am your host, Lauren Leonelli. You can find me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Vine, and my website. And here with me, we have...
I am Lauren Lograsso, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lauren Lograsso. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not even true. At LoLoLogro, and then Facebook.com/Lauren Lograsso.
Don't trick them, Lo.
I don't want to trick them. I want to keep them in the fold. And
Yes.
with that being said, we want to engage with you guys too.
Yes.
So if you have like 3 minutes, just go to podcast1.com. There's a really quick survey on there. If you guys just take it would really help us out. And when you engage with us, we engage back with you. We listen to what you have to say, and we are always trying to make our show better. So help us do that. We really appreciate you.
It's a team effort.
It is.
We're all here together.
Teamwork.
We're all in this together.
So are Grace and Frankie.
And so are Grace and Frankie. And we've been seeing them get real close.
Yeah.
We've been seeing in these last 2 episodes, they really talk about their friendship and what kind of friends they are, and it's cute. And the first one, they deal with a real friendship issue. Girls deal with this stuff all the time. We gossip to each other. We like to talk to each other about, like, juicy things that are going on. Like, I may have just shown Lauren a text from a boy that's super cute. I mean, and we're like, that's what girls do. And so we're getting to see them do this. And, Grace is in a relationship. She's, exploring her boundaries with Guy and with the Connie the convict.
Connie the convict. That's what I was calling him before I knew his name.
Yeah, wait, what is his name? Because
Byron.
Byron, that's right.
Which is weird because he's such a sexy, sweet guy. And when I think of Byron, I'm like, oh, I'm Byron, and have like glasses and suspenders.
Totally think of like a wiry, nerdy guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Byron's not like a sexy guy.
No.
What should his name be? Heath.
Yes.
I think his name should be Heath.
Yeah, that sounds good. Heath bars are delicious, so I'm down with that. He's delicious.
Good call. Yeah, we're getting to see Jane's character get a little risque. I kind of like it.
Oh yeah, I like her with Connie the convict, aka Byron, because she doesn't have time to think with him. With Guy, there's a lot of time to think, and it's very pleasant.
Totally.
But with Byron, it's very hot.
What do you think he's trying to represent? I think, okay, so let's think about this now. I didn't think about this until right now, but I feel like they're in the story for a purpose. So
right.
I always do that.
I do claws too.
What are these claw hands right here? Maybe
well, you're
not
trying
so
to
much.
Like weigh
I was
your
trying
options.
to like say that Guy was over here and Byron was over here, but maybe for those of you who are listening, I make these really weird hand gestures. I'm just gonna stop. I'm Italian. I can't help myself.
Listen, we got 2 Italians here.
That's right.
With very similar names.
We do. We're both Lauren, and we both have Italian-sounding last names that start with L. LL in the house.
LL's in the house.
So I feel like maybe they're supposed to represent like 2 sides of her sexuality, maybe, or something. Like one is this like burning passion that she's trying to find, just being like a sexual woman again. Because even though she was married up until not that long ago, she wasn't. I'm not getting the impression very sexual with her husband. Although I feel like Frankie was. They still like dabbled and had sex. I feel like Grace and Robert just didn't.
I think Grace and Robert were pretty celibate, at least toward the end there. Yeah, like aka the last 20 years.
Or for the last just short 20 years.
Yeah.
So I think, maybe, Byron's supposed to bring that out on her, and Guy might be there trying to help her have like an emotional relationship again. You know what I mean? It's like the emotionality and the sexuality. Now we got to find how they're going to mesh together.
Right. I mean, ultimately, we want to find a guy that encompasses both.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times women and men go for like dating a bunch of different people at once to try to fulfill all their needs, when really we should just like not settle and look for that one person.
We should not settle. We should find someone that encompasses them all, but sometimes they don't. So then I think maybe that's why you go stray out. You're like, okay, well, this guy's really fun to go out with, or this guy's fun to talk to, or, you know, this guy is helping me hang my TV because he's strong. I don't know. And you all have purpose. You all have purposes sometimes.
It's true.
The goal is to find a guy that can hang a TV and watch a romantic comedy with you.
Yeah.
Where are you? Call me.
Right now.
Right now.
They could call now.
They could call. It's 424-256-1729. I don't know how I always remember that number, but I do.
She's got a killer memory, folks.
I selectively have a killer memory. So Grace and Frankie, okay, so we find out that, you know, Frankie walks in on Grace and Byron like madly making out.
How funny was that when she was hiding behind that creepy clown picture?
Which was Byron's picture, wasn't it? I think, was she bringing it to him or something?
It may have been Byron's picture, but I think it was hers, because I remember in a previous episode, Saul and her were talking. He's like, oh, that's different for you. I like it.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. You're right.
So I think that was her creepy clown.
I think it might have been her creepy clown. But right before that, we are seeing Guy come in, and Frankie's sort of like, you're always here. And he's, you know, eating their food and puts his shoes on the counter, and he has the ambient eating problem. And so we know he's there and he just left. And then Byron comes in, grabs her, whisks her, makes out with her, because we see Grace and Guy kiss, and it's like, you know,
it's awkward, honestly.
Totally.
I mean, it makes me feel weird sometimes. I like the dance moves, you know, that they have together, but when they kiss, it feels a little bit forced.
Stiff.
I'm rooting for it because he's such a good guy.
Totally.
But it doesn't feel... It doesn't make me feel the way I feel when I see her and Byron kiss.
Well, I think it's obviously, I want to say it's an actor's conscious choice, because she, you know, the end of the episode kind of, we get there with that. We wonder what she's thinking, and we'll get there. But so then we see, you know, Byron and Grace making out, and Frankie sees it and is like, oh my gosh, you have to tell me everything. And I thought this was a cute moment, speaking of friends, how she's like, I thought we were those type of friends. And you know what? I kind of thought Grace was going to be like shut down to it, but she really opened up and was like, let's talk about everything. And I thought that was so cute.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love that they were having the talk that you usually have in a relationship when you're like, okay, we're serious now, but as friends.
That's right. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah.
They had the like, we're exclusively BFFs now.
They did.
That was cute.
It was really cute. And I don't think that she's necessarily there with Grace, that is, with her male relationships, but she is there with Frankie, which is cool.
Yeah. I think it's hard for her to open up in general, I feel like. Yeah. So, you know, it was cute to see them open up like that. And then, I don't know, I think I was a little surprised when Frankie called Saul and was like dishing to him, and only just because she's in the recent past tried really hard to not contact Saul, and she was even doing, wasn't she doing the thing in the beginning of this episode where she was trying to or was that the next episode? I always do that, I'm sorry. Never mind. But she has up until this point mentioned, you know, wanting to distance herself from him, and we're not going to just call each other, and we're not just going to drop in anymore. So I was like, oh, she's calling him, like maybe she's...
I think she let her emotions get the best of her, because it seemed like she was totally trying to one-up him. Like, oh, you think you're going to have a bachelor party and you're going to be, like, tasting hors d'oeuvres and doing all these things? Well, let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm watching a convict make out with Grace.
Okay.
Because she kept saying, like, things are exciting here, too. You're not the only one with excitement.
Right. And then when her son called, she was like, oh, I'm having a party, too. I love how she was like, Kevin, is that you? Where's Kevin? Oh, there you are. That made me laugh out loud, which is so, I love that. I love that the show makes me do that
so much, and it gets better and better every episode. I feel like I'm falling in love with this show.
Totally.
I feel like it might be the one.
It might be the one. We have a match, everybody. We have a match. You know what also might be the one for you?
What?
Let me tell you.
Please.
A Mazda.
Oh, yes. Beautiful car.
Love those cars. Last time we had Jen in the studio, she was talking about her Mazda. And I got something to say, guys. You know, we really want to take, you know, time to thank our sponsor, Mazda, and they have a really important question for you. And you can answer this too if you want, Lauren.
Okay.
Does driving matter to you?
Absolutely.
Obviously, we live in LA. It matters a lot to us. And everyone all over the world with a car. There's over 4 million miles of road in the U.S. to find out. And that's a lot of ground to cover, people. A lot of highways, freeways, wrong ways, and long ways. And trust me, I take the wrong way quite often. They're all waiting to be driven on. And so we'd like you to, take that left turn at Albuquerque or just keep going. Which one do you want to do? Do you want to wake up early on a Sunday morning for a drive before all the traffic does? Because I don't like being stuck in traffic. Or do you take the long, winding road home for a change? That does sound kind of nice, doesn't it? Especially if you're in a Mazda. So if driving matters to you, just get out and drive. Why? Because Mazda is awesome and because driving matters.
It does.
And we love the Mazda commercial. We talked about it last time.
Yes.
It's got heart.
You got to check it out. If you like Grace and Frankie, you like things that make you feel all kinds of emotions, you're going to like the Mazda commercial.
You will. It's so cute. Just watch it even if you now you need to know what we're talking about, so you have to watch it.
You have to watch it. Tell us how you feel about it. Tweet at us.
Let us know.
Let us know. Hey, I like this. I got to say this one line. He goes, Grace was talking about how they kissed before. Mm-hmm. So she said, oh, this is so funny. And it reminded me of a Friends episode.
Yes.
So she goes, we kissed before. We were just saying goodbye. And Frankie says, goodbye? When was hello? It reminds me of over me.
Not
when were you under me?
When Ross said that. That was so cute.
Yeah. I loved it. I felt like it was a throwback.
When were you under me?
Yeah.
Oh, Ross Geller. Ross and Rachel.
Ross.
Who's like Ross? I think Grace and Frankie are like Ross and Rachel. Like, I feel like they're like that. Like, you just really want them to, like, be together and, like, become one. Like, become a team.
Work it out.
Yeah, work it out, like Ross and Rachel.
They don't need to go on a break, though.
They don't need to go on a break.
And they stay together.
And I really don't think Frankie should write a 7-page long letter about how everything... Remember that episode? That was so funny.
Yeah. No long novels.
No long, just, we just want to hear you guys talk. And they did a lot of that this episode. It was great. When Guy found out... I knew that was going to happen, by the way. When I think that was obviously towards the end, but how did it get back to... I'm trying to remember how it came full circle and how it got back to Grace that Frankie...
Because she was calling Robert about something.
Right.
She was calling Robert, and he was like, you've created a lot of trouble here with your convict kiss. She's like, what? He found out?
Yeah.
And then she got upset with Frankie.
And Frankie was very apologetic.
Yeah.
And she obviously felt really bad and was like, look, I have a big mouth. And guess what? Like, people do stuff like that. All of my friends have different, like, idiosyncrasies that are like, okay, it's cute sometimes it's annoying, whatever. I do it too. And there's been plenty of times where I've been like, I've done something unintentionally.
That's the worst feeling in the world.
For sure.
When you've hurt someone and you can't take it back because you didn't need to do it. Of course, you apologize for it, but it's just such I hate feeling like I've hurt someone.
I know. It's not a good feeling. But what I like about what Frankie did was she admitted her flaw.
She's like,
I have a big mouth. I'm sorry. I did not. And like, look, it happens sometimes. Like, is that really the only... I'm sure Grace has told a secret before. Like, everyone can understand. But she's, clearly she's feeling bad about what she did. And then, of course... Guy walks in and overhears her saying, you made out with a convict or something.
At 4 p.m.
Yeah. At 4 p.m.
So random.
What a random hour to be making out with people. Who does that?
Wouldn't mind it. Just kidding.
I mean, me either. It's past 4. It's 6:18. But
6:18.
We can make out with people at 6:18
We're available.
Too. Yeah. We're available to make out with if you would like. Or not. Or we
can just... Yeah,
we can just talk about it. That's what we do. We like it. But yeah, no. So I felt really bad for poor Guy.
Yeah.
He was so defeated. He was like... he like walked away with his tail on his legs.
Yeah, he's very earnest, very sweet. Yeah, you got to feel for him.
Coach. He wasn't like the powerful coach I'm used to seeing, Craig T. Nelson.
I have to check that out. That was a TV show in the 90s?
I think it was like late 80s, early 90s.
Okay, I got to check that out. I've been hearing people talk about it this week. So
he is kind of like he is who he is. So I'm sure, when you see him act, he's being Craig.
Right.
So there's that is the same. But he was like, he was a coach. He was a basketball coach for, I want to say at college or something. I forget what exactly it was. But yeah, he was like in charge. He was like the guy in charge. He had a really commanding voice and he was like, he took control. He's a big dude. I mean, you can tell by looking at him.
He's very imposing.
Totally. So he was that tall. That guy. But he had a heart. It was a sitcom. So of course he had a heart. He had a soft spot. And you see it a lot more here now. Like the person that we were all used to watching, the character that made him famous is different different than this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt so bad for him.
I did too.
And
that has to be a sinking feeling.
Totally. And Grace tried to explain, but he left, he needed time. But then he came back and explained why it was bothering him so much.
And he drops the L-bomb.
He dropped the L-bomb, you guys.
Did you, in your whole life, ever have someone tell you that they loved you and you couldn't say it back? Have you ever?
No.
It is... You feel like a terrible person.
I mean, I've had someone be like, I really like you, and I was like, I just think of you as a friend, but that is like times a million.
But that's great that you were able to say that. I used to have a boyfriend who's very sweet, the nicest person in the world. He's very much like Coach, just kind of went with the flow and was always there. But he would tell me he loved me, and I'd pretend like I didn't hear it, like Grace. And I look back on that, and I'm so...
How old were you?
I was 20.
So you were young.
Yeah, but I feel like she's living her second,
For sure.
Not childhood, but adolescence, early 20s right now.
Yeah, she is.
So I feel for her. That's a terrible position to be in, and you can't help but be a jerk in that position.
Oh, it's like they're setting you up for disaster right away. I feel like look, you feel how you feel, but I think it's better to that's kind of like proposing marriage to someone when you have never talked about if you want to get married or, it's like... It's a big risk. It's like buying an animal for someone who's never said they want a puppy. You can't...
That's a life.
I think that, telling someone that you're having really strong... you maybe organically lead up to it in conversation. I would like that. I really care about you. Or, there's a look you can give. And then maybe eventually when they do spring the L word, it's not like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Because they even have the talk about being exclusive.
It doesn't seem like they have. Which is why I don't think Grace felt all that bad about, making out with this guy. Because she's like, well, we're not married.
She shouldn't feel bad about it.
No, it wasn't. I didn't think she should have either. But clearly, she explained herself and felt bad that he felt bad. And then he drops the L-bomb on her, and she's like, hugs him. That was her response.
Yeah, she didn't even kiss him. I noticed that too. It was a hug, and it was a kind of a bashful, friendly hug, not a passionate one at all.
Yeah, it was like, hi.
It didn't give me a lot of confidence for their future.
No. It didn't. It made me a little sad. And then, we get to, kind of hope and see where this all goes. But, they always end the episodes with them, Grace and Frankie, together usually. I'm trying to remember because I watched 2 in a row. How did this one end?
This one ended with Grace and Frankie talking about Frankie revealing the secret.
Yes.
And Frankie was trying to make her feel better. So, when something happens, they're like, you can punch me if you want. It's that kind of thing. So she's like, okay, I released a sex tape with Saul back in the 80s. Here it is. You can watch it if you want. You can release it.
I like that she was like, we need a VCR to watch this.
Together.
And she's like, I'm absolutely not watching this with you.
And then she admits that she made out with a monkey.
And then it was an actual, the band member, a monkey.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, she said
I totally didn't catch on to that, unfortunately.
She said it was the, it was, what's his name, whatever his name was.
Davy Jones?
Did she say Davy Jones?
I don't know.
I don't think she
obviously
did.
I didn't even catch that there was a band. I thought she literally made out with a primate.
I thought that's what they were trying to do, because it sounds like something she would do.
Right.
But then she said, and it was so-and-so, a name that I'm not familiar with from the Monkees, and I think Grace said, well, he's not even the cute one.
So it must not have been Davy Jones.
I don't know who it was, but so then so I don't know. Did we cover everything from that one? I think we did.
I think we got to talk about the subplots in this one though, because
what else was happening?
This one,
I watched the show, you guys. I swear, I'm just my brain is scrambled between the 2 episodes. I don't know how you people binge watch. I don't know how you do it. It's just so
because
confusing.
They all blur together when you binge watch.
They all blur together.
So this, I think, is the one where they were the 2 guys were choosing what hors d'oeuvres to have, and it comes out that because of the kiss, that's why that created all the hubbub. Because of the kiss, we find out that when Saul and Robert were on a break, Robert canoodled with their friend Jeff.
And by canoodled, she means made the sex.
They had intercourse.
They made the sex.
Yeah, and that is a very uncomfortable situation. Not only because Saul didn't know about it,
they were on a break.
Yeah.
They were on a break.
Bringing it back.
See how we did that?
But the guys were making hors d'oeuvres for them. So, it couldn't have come at a worse time.
It's the worst time. And Saul's so sensitive.
He is.
Which is cute, but he's real sensitive about it. And, it comes out that, it's okay if Grace made out with the convict. She's not married. She's, she can do what she wants. And then slowly it leaked out that why is that? Why? Have you kissed someone? We've only kissed each other. And no, Robert.
Robert's been kissing Jeffy.
Robert had a rendezvous. And Jeff and the what was the other guy's name? The other I don't know, whoever.
They're lovers.
They were really funny.
Yeah, they were. And I thought they said something very interesting. They said, why would you spend your whole life living in this box of, being straight if you're just going to go into another box once you're gay? Don't you want to be adventurous? What's the point?
Yeah. And I think that it was cute what Saul said, and he said something to the effect of, well, that was the Bachelor Party. Never mind.
I thought you were going to say that was the Bachelorette for some reason.
Or the Bachelorette, which is kind of what it felt like. But he did say, just to show you where my train of thought is going, he did say in the next episode, he's like, I'm gay because I love this man. And so I feel like that's kind of the same sentiment. And that's probably where Saul was coming from. I don't need, I don't care about the box. I don't feel like I'm in a box. I just want to be with this person. It's not about now I'm in this boundary and I want to break out of it, but I can't. I think some people have, different ideas of what they like and what they welcome into their lives and what they want. And I feel like Saul is more of a let's be a rule follower. Let's stay. I mean, he's kind of hippy dippy, but when it comes to relationships, I feel like he's very loyal.
Yeah, I think he's led by love.
Totally. And he's just I don't have the desire to do any of that. And if he did, he'd probably act on it, but it has nothing to do with being trapped in a box or not. It's just how he feels.
Exactly.
Now, it happens to be that box per se, but I don't know. And Robert wasn't coming off in any way, shape, or form that he didn't want to just be exclusive with Saul. It just was this time in his life where he had happened to dabble a little. They were on a break.
He did a dib and dab.
He didn't do anything wrong.
No.
It came out bad.
It did. I think that the thing that Saul was upset about was the fact that he had sat on this for so many years. Not that he had strayed, because it was during a point when they weren't even talking.
Yeah, right.
But
and then Robert did bring up a good point. He's like, well, I could have told you, what was I supposed to do? Call you and tell you when we weren't talking? And then what was I supposed to do? Tell you when everything was good? I mean, it is kind of like when do you ever bring up something like that?
There's so many of these in this show.
Yeah.
There's never a good time to bring up bad news.
Never a good time to bring up bad news. It's always a difficult thing, but it's not to say that he shouldn't have said something,
right?
Especially if he's then inviting these guys over, and they're
they're close. They're besties.
They even made a blanket statement that we know 5 gay people, and these are 2 of them.
Right.
So, and that's how we kind of figured out who it was that he slept with. But I mean, these are this close circle of friends. They're cooking for their wedding, and then of course they talked it out, and they came to this this is ridiculous. We love each other. They had a little tender moment. It was cute, and
they always work it out really nicely.
They do.
They're good communicators.
I like that about them.
I do too. I admire it.
I do too.
And then the movie. Do you remember that with Bree?
Yes.
That was crazy.
Super cute.
Really fun.
Well, we got to see what's he, the accountant?
Yes, Barry the accountant. And I like that, obviously both of the brothers were trying to grill him, and I thought that was cute.
Yeah. And the questions they were asking were really funny.
Yeah.
And then they figured out what was wrong. They're like, oh, you work for her. Oh.
Didn't they call him lawsuit waiting to happen?
Yes, lawsuit waiting to happen.
I love the names that they had for the other people, too. Micro Penis Paul. I wrote that one down. I thought it had a nice ring to it.
It does. It rolls right off the tongue.
Right off the tongue.
Or not right off the tongue.
Right. Wouldn't even reach the tongue.
No. And she went there.
I did.
Everyone, welcome Lauren.
Thank you. And welcome Lauren.
Yes, we're here. Hi, call us. Those were cute. And then they kind of harassed him at the end when they had that tender moment. They were kissing, and he was like, but it was cute when Barry said, I'm really into your sister. I really like her.
I'm crazy about her.
Cute.
Good for Bree. She deserves it.
I know.
She's fought the battle long and hard.
She has. And I feel like this one could stick.
Could stick.
He's not like the dog walker.
No. That dog walker started out so strong.
So strong.
And he's so weak.
He seemed like he was really strong, too.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely didn't have a micro penis, that guy.
No.
Anyway, back to the show. So yeah, that was cute too, and we're getting to see her date. They're all dating. Everyone's dating.
Yeah.
It's like a big dating hullabaloo.
Dating fest.
A cornucopia of daters.
Oh, yes.
And when you date someone for a really long time and then you get engaged, you have a bachelor party, and that was the next episode.
That's so
Let's
true.
talk about the bachelor party.
Beautiful
people.
transition.
Let's talk about the bachelor party because it was quite the party. And we did talk about how the actor, Martin Sheen, was like, I don't want to make a mockery out of this. I support gay rights, and I'm not going to be part of a bachelor party that's like with penises everywhere. And like, this is, you know, and so that's kind of like what this episode was like, art imitating life, I think. Maybe they took that and ran with it and wrote an episode about it because they wanted this bachelor party to be super, you know, classy, and like it was a party for men to celebrate their engagement, and it wasn't supposed to be like this big, you know, trashy thing. And I thought it was funny that Mal came over and was totally like, all right guys, we need you. Super stressed out party planner. Her sister was calling her Martha.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
And it's kind of like,
as in Stuart, right?
Yes, it's kind of like when I plan a party, I think.
Oh wow,
I might be neurotic a little.
That's awesome though. You're really good at it then. She cracked the whip.
I mean, I'm like that. Yeah, like the cupcake is out of line on the plate, like fix it.
Oh my gosh, you would hate planning a party with me. I don't even see those kind of things.
When the doorbell rang and someone was, and they were early, and Mallory was like, what the fuck, somebody's here?
No, I hate it when people are early. I think that's more rude than being late to a personal engagement.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not supposed to be, we are not ready. We need all the time that we can take. I have to line up the napkins, the tablecloths cannot be wrinkled. What do you think you're doing coming here early? I've clearly been in this position before.
Yes, it's true.
Totally. I stressed out for her. She had to leave. They're like, you got to go. Bye. And she's like, I got to go. I have kids to take care of. And of course, the party was too stuffy. And then the guy shows up from Utah, and we knew something was going to come out of that.
He had bad energy, as people would say out here.
His energy was no bueno.
No bueno. You could tell he was a judgmental Sally.
Judgy eyes all over that guy. Judgy Jerry.
JJ.
I don't know what his name was, but we'll call him Judgy Jerry.
I may have written it down somewhere, but I didn't like him, so I may not have. I may not have dignified him with a name. He didn't deserve it.
And then the B plot line is that Grace and Frankie were going to have a fun night out because they really needed to get out and just let loose. And, you know, Grace really came to Frankie's rescue. She was trying to get rid of Saul. She was doing the whole talking on the iPhone saying, this is day 7. I'm taking my ring off. And then Grace sees that she's, you know, feeling down and says, you know what, Guy can wait. She had some plans with Guy. Let's go have a fun night. And Frankie suggests the yes night.
That is such a cool idea.
That is dangerous.
It seems dangerous, but it seems fun.
They bought a Del Taco franchise because they had a yes night, her and Frankie and Saul.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine? And then when you're with someone who knows what you won't do, if I was out with one of my best friends, we'd be pushing each other all night. Eat that. She was making her eat lamb, and Grace was making Frankie eat lamb. She's a vegetarian.
It was rabbit, I think.
Or rabbit. Yeah. They were getting lamb skewers too and stuff. It was just, anyway, it was really funny that you knew where they could kind of go with this. So they start out by dressing each other. Hilarious.
So funny. I really didn't see Frankie going that far with Grace. I thought she'd dress her in some weird flowy dress.
Totally. I thought she was going to look like a hippie.
Blue hair was going to come out.
Yeah, it was interesting. I thought she was going to be hippy dippy, but no. They really went for it, and they went to this bar that Frankie used to love, and it was kind of just grungy and
a dive bar.
Yeah, a dive bar. And then when they got there, she was really disappointed about how they were fake. What'd she say? They were fake.
She just started yelling, fake, you're all fake here. I love it. Do you ever feel like that when you go to a club, especially here
in LA? In LA. What?
You look around and it's everyone's just insecurely judging everyone else and trying to see if someone's looking at them so that they can look at the other person.
It's a weird vibe, and people also trying to make you think there's something they're not.
Yeah.
That's the story of everyone's life here.
Right. It's a tough road, but I totally felt that. There have been times when I've wanted to scream out those very things, but I didn't have the balls. So
you could live vicariously through Grace and Frankie. And what I really lived vicariously through was when they got up on the bar and started dancing.
That was killer.
I thought the night was going to go south, and then they brought it back. You know what I mean? They were kind of getting a little weird with the oh, I don't want to do this, and Frankie was feeling down about the bar, and then they picked it up. They got on the bar and they danced to the window. Elbow to the Wall. I'm like, you cannot be dancing to a better song right now.
They were getting down pretty low, too.
They were getting low.
I was worried for their hips.
I thought somebody was going to maybe break a hip.
Yeah.
But also, while we're talking about dancing, you guys, you have got to know, you need to know about this. Dance Battle America, it's ABC's newest competition special. It is brought to you by, of course, our boss lady, wonderful producer extravaganza, owner, creator of all of what you see here, Maria Menounos, and Dancing with the Stars, Julianne Hough. And you guys, if you follow Maria or Julianne on Instagram, or Derek, or any of that crew from Dancing with the Stars, you saw like a couple of the past Christmases, Maria has done dance wars or dance battles with, you know, she'll challenge like Julianne, and then Julianne will challenge Derek, and you're kind of like going through this little Instagram rabbit hole watching them all dance, and they're just those short little videos, but they really like go for it.
They're crazy.
They totally go for it. Maria puts on like wigs, and like everyone's like, I mean, there's like drones flying up in the air to get like overhead shots, and like they're all amazing dancers. It's fun to watch them like in their homes with their friends dancing.
Right. You feel like you get an inside view.
Totally getting an inside view. And so once that started kind of getting like a craze, and we started to see like Kate Hudson was doing it, and Amber Riley was doing it, and then it just got out of hand. Now this is like the craze has begun, and everybody wants to be a part of it. So now the ladies, they're challenging everyone in America to battle it out with this chance to fly to LA and compete in the dance show. I'm like, can I do this? Can I be a part of this?
I hope so.
So if you guys are thinking like I'm thinking, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, it is, and you want to be on, you know, this show and have a chance to like have a dance off, go to www.dancebattleamericacasting.com. There's more information about how to submit a video and all of the above. And you guys, don't worry, you don't have to be like dancing pros. Like, you know, Julianne Maria was on Dancing with the Stars. She became a pro. You don't have to, you just need to like have fun and just be yourself and be silly and just go for it. Like dance like no one's watching, basically.
Leave it all on the dance floor.
Leave it all on the dance floor. So you guys, don't forget to submit your videos. DanceBattleAmericaCasting.com now. Don't wait. It's going to be awesome. You need to be a part of it. And then you can thank us for sending you there.
Yep.
When you win.
We'll be waiting for that.
We'll be waiting for that. And maybe I'm going to be part of it, and I'm going to beat everyone because I'm weirdly competitive and I like to dance. But seriously, doesn't that not sound so fun? I'm like dying over it.
So much
I like
fun.
Want it all to happen now. Like I want people to come in and start dancing. Somebody flash mob us.
I would love that.
Right now.
I always say dancing is my non-aspirational passion.
That's so weird. I always say that to him. Like, if I could have, like, I would have never done it, but if I could have become a professional dancer somehow, I would have. I love watching ballet, and like I love watching ballroom dancers. There's just or any type of dancing, really.
It's amazing the stories people can tell with their bodies. I know what it's supposed to look like, but my body just can't quite get there.
Like, how do you make your leg, when you point your toe, it looks so much better than when I do it?
I know. Not fair.
But
Next life.
But Grace and Frankie looked pretty awesome on the bar, though.
They looked awesome. I think they should do the dance battle for sure.
I think they should do the dance battle.
And did you watch The Office at all?
No, not like a lot.
Okay, Creed was in it, and I just had to give a shout out to Creed.
Which one was he?
He was one of the guys who had hit on her, on the girls, and sent them the whiskey.
Cute.
But he was so cute, and he actually looked very attractive. So Creed, if you're listening, hey, I see you.
Oh, cute. Yeah, I did not watch that show, but that's fun when you see little cameos, obviously.
I love it.
The show is full of them because all of these actors are very seasoned and amazing. But yeah, so they're dancing on the bar. They're having a good time, and then they leave the bar feeling great. They leave the bar on an upside. They get kicked out. They get, that's right.
They dance. Actually, and I know that guy who did the cameo. His name's David. Oh. He's awesome. He's a really great actor. The one that kicked him out. The guy. He kind of looks like David Schwimmer. I don't know if you noticed that.
Totally reminds me of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was cute to see them like happy, and you know, then they're on the corner waiting for their cab and kind of just having their moment. But we'll get back to that very end in a second, because the bachelor party is still going on, and it's going awry real fast. Everyone's bored. Of course, the two gay guys that are their friends give the standard, like, we were supposed to go see Barbra Streisand tonight.
We had tickets too.
And everyone's kind of just like meh, and you know, they realize they need to save the day, and Bree is like the fun girl. Let's call Bree, because clearly Mallory made this party boring.
Right.
And
it's too classy.
It's too classy.
It's frigid.
And And, you know, so Bree tries, but the only thing she could really do at the 11th hour was get a mechanical penis for the front yard.
Yeah, I called it a mechanical penis bull.
Oh, that's good.
Because it was supposed to be like a bull, but you just ride the penis.
That's what they were doing on the show. We're not suggesting I would have 100% thought that was amazing if that was at like a bachelor party or a bachelorette party that I was at.
It was such a jarring thing.
So funny.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, everyone's freaking out about it. The neighbors are going to freak out. The boys don't like it. And then it sends Judgy Jerry into a tizzy. Mm-hmm. And this was a very good moment because he's like, you guys, he dropped the F-bomb, which I don't like to say. The
truly offensive F-bomb.
And it was put in the episode for a good purpose because, you know, he called them a derogatory name. And I love that Robert just was like, I kind of forget his rebuttal, like
it
word
was a
for
great
word,
one, but he was ready to punch him.
He was ready to punch him, and he, you know, he gave it to him. He was like, you know, I've been waiting to say this to you, or you could tell it was built up anger, and he just kind of let him have it. And then when, you know, I remember out loud going, yeah. Yes. And then, you know, they got him out, and then it was very cute to see Saul being like, that was hot. Yeah. You almost punched him.
Then they made out. It's been a good couple of episodes for making out.
Getting real sexual up in here.
I didn't love this, but I always find it really offensive when people say your lifestyle choice. Yeah. I think that's so demeaning, and that guy said it, and that on top of the F-bomb really put me over the edge. So I was so glad that Robert, who'd kind of been kissing this guy's butt for the whole episode, stuck up for who they are and for their love.
Because it's true. And Saul was kind of like, why is this guy here? He's so like, ugh. Like, Saul had a bad feeling about him anyway. So it was nice to see, you know, that moment where he was like, okay, enough. Like, I have a line and you just crossed it. Right. And when you do, you hurt someone that I love or me or whatever, I'm going to let you know. And I like that. Yeah, this is where, you know, Saul made that comment about, like, I chose this lifestyle and him because I love him, not because I'm gay, or because I think he was making a comment about being like a gay man and having this sexuality and then being like flamboyantly gay, and how he had a problem with how they were being flamboyant all of a sudden. And so I think that's where Saul, you know, sort of just said, well, this is just what I choose because I love this man. It's not because, you know, I'm gay or not gay. It's just him, and this is who I love. And it was just a nice moment.
It's a good lesson for anyone that has somewhat of a closed mind to realize it's about love.
For sure. It's not even about like men or women. It's just about loving and caring about somebody. And it was a nice, gratifying moment too, because you didn't really like that guy. Judgy Jerry had to go.
He did, and he had to go by the big mechanical penis.
He had to walk by, and I felt like going, bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
See you never.
And I like that Bud was like riding the mechanical penis. That was hilarious.
Oh my God. He was so drunk.
He was drunk.
He was wasted.
He was like, I can't deal with... I got a little nervous because Coyote was there, and I was like, he's drinking a lot around us, but, you know.
He was eating a lot of meatballs, though. I think he distracted himself from the alcohol with the food.
Yeah, it was like he needed something oral. And yeah, so that was funny. And then, you know, Bree was like, it was really cute. It was really cute how Bree was like, I tried, haha. I like how she really goes for it and kind of doesn't apologize for it. She's just like, oh, oops, well, that's what they had. Sorry, it's you asked for it. Like,
I don't think she even realizes it's something to apologize for. Yeah. She's just like, I did what you asked for. I did my job.
A mechanical penis. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. I thought it was fantastic. And then... you know, so obviously the show always kind of shoots back in between Grace and Frankie and Saul and Robert, and then we end with Grace and Frankie waiting for a cab. And they're like, I thought it was really cute when she was like, so when's this cab coming? And she's like, when we call it.
Yeah.
And
well, their car had gotten towed, which I'm like, are you guys really thinking of driving? I hope you're not driving tonight.
I know, good call. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they wouldn't have anyway, but the car still got towed.
They just wanted to see that it was okay.
Yeah.
And then take the cab home.
And I like that they were kind of just like, this night was disastrous, but it's amazing because they were together and they, you know, they clearly were having fun. And what was their like ending? They always end saying something cute. Now I'm forgetting what they said. They said something cute.
Something real cute. Something about
cute.
like when the night ends.
Yeah.
When does the yes night end? And Frankie said when they get home, I think.
Yeah.
Which didn't look like it was going to happen anytime soon.
It just looked like they were just like living. I like that they're really showing them live life now, because it seems like they weren't really getting these opportunities before. You know, they were staying with these men that they loved, and they had no idea that all this was going on behind their back. And they were, you know, they're living life now, and it's really cute. Even though they're older, it's cute to see, you know, vaginal dryness and all.
Yeah. It's never too late to start.
It's never too late to start using yams for vaginal dryness.
That's true. And it's never mind. I'm going to not say.
Yeah, we've gone off on some tangents this
yes,
episode.
It's gotten really
that's
wild.
What happens when you leave the Laurens in here together. This is only water, too. Could you imagine?
Oh, my gosh.
Next time is the finale, and it's going to go down.
It should.
We're going to have wine or something good.
I mean, we're probably going to be watching the wedding, so.
We have to celebrate.
We do.
It's going to be so good.
We need to toast.
Speaking of toasting and next time and fun, juicy tidbits, do we have any news and gossip this
We do.
week?
We have a little bit of news.
Yay.
TV news.
Could be gossip, too.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a guy named Roger Freeman, and he writes for Show Business 411, and he says, quote, when it comes to Emmy voting, Grace and Frankie can't be ignored. Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin must be nominated for Grace and Frankie. The series picks up around the third episodes, and it never stops. Like Veep, this sophisticated humor needs to be recognized.
100% agreeing. That is not a biased opinion. I have talked about shows before on this network, and they're good, but, you know, sometimes you're not, like, doesn't mean they're going to get an Emmy.
Right.
This, I totally agree with.
This has captured my heart.
For sure.
I was really nervous on the first episode.
I was,
because
too.
anytime you go into a new show, it's
You don't
like,
know.
oh, you know, you're dipping your toes in the water. I am fully submerged at this point.
It's so nice because everybody in this show, whatever position they're in, producing, acting, writing, they're all so talented. They all have such an amazing past. It's like you didn't want it to fail either. You're like,
Right.
we're dealing with iconic veterans here. Like, this has to be good. And you don't know. You still don't know. Something
Right.
can go awry. This, I totally agree with.
Yeah.
Emmy all day, every day.
We'll be voting for them.
Yeah.
I can't vote, but I will be sending positive energy to the voters.
We would.
Yes.
You didn't know that I'm on the board of Emmy givers?
Look at Lauren.
Hi.
Emmy board giver.
Be nice to me. That's official right here.
Bam.
Okay. Let's talk about some predictions. We're getting to the end.
Okay.
Let's predict. All right.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Okay, so we know the wedding is happening.
Yes.
So obviously we're predicting that's happening because that's obvious. I think that there's going to be two things. I think, and it's going to happen with the siblings. I think that Bree is going to bring the Barry.
The Barry.
Bree and Barry. That's going to be her date. And we're going to end the season with them, like, totally together. So the next season will happen. Oh, Grace and Frankie is definitely shooting seasons 2 and 3. Did we
get a 3 too?
I think I heard 2 and 3.
Wow, I knew 2.
Don't quote me on that, but I swear I heard 2 and 3.
Sweet.
Maybe I'm wrong. And I know normally they don't do that, but I thought maybe because it was Netflix. I swear I heard
they can kind of make their own rules.
I think I heard that. Okay, well, for sure 2, but 2 and 3. So we're gonna see. I really think we're gonna see Bree and Barry go into season 2 for sure. And then I think that Coyote and Mallory are gonna kiss, like secretly somewhere. They're gonna like be talking, and they're gonna get swept up in the moment of love at the wedding. And I think they're gonna like kiss, and then be like, "Oh my gosh, no!" And it's gonna be like a cliffhanger. Like, what's gonna happen? That's what I think.
I hope that happens.
Me too. And I hope there's some more Jeff Stoltz in the last episode.
I know. I hope so too. I mean, I feel like he would be at the wedding.
Yeah, he'd be at the wedding.
He should be.
He should be.
Oh man. I'm gonna say what I hope happens.
Okay.
I hope that Grace ends up hooking up with the convict again. I hope the convict comes back north.
He's
to
on
San
the
Diego.
lam. He's on the lam.
He's in Mexico, but I hope he comes up, and I hope that they have a very passionate makeup session and maybe more.
Can't get enough of them, huh?
I really can. I just think that that's a good direction for her to go in. I think something something's going to go awry at the wedding, too.
Well, we also have to deal with Guy. You know, she never said I love you back.
Right.
And that's kind of how the episode ended, too. The Bachelor Party that Grace reminded Frankie that I didn't say anything back. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
So that I think we're going to, you know, maybe I'll predict a little extra prediction that she doesn't invite Guy to the wedding.
But I think he will be invited. I think there's going to be an awkwardness there. You know, there's going to be some sort of awkwardness.
Yeah.
Something's going to go awry. Things aren't going to go quite right. It's still going to end up being a great day.
Yeah.
Just like Robert and Saul's fights.
Yeah.
I think something's going to go really wrong, and then they'll come back together.
And well. And yeah, all those little things and characters meeting and crossing paths in between is going to be, it can get a little sticky, I think. But, and I'm really hoping for a cliffhanger into season 2, so let's hope for that.
Fingers crossed.
Yay! Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening and watching. We will be back next week to talk about the finale, and I think we're going to have everyone here with us again.
We will.
Lauren. So it'll be the
whole
band.
team.
The band will be back together next week. So don't forget to watch us here at AfterBuzz TV Tuesdays at 6. I'm Lauren Leonelli. You can find me at Lauren Leonelli on Twitter, Facebook, Vine, Instagram, and my website. All of the things at Lauren Leonelli.
Awesome. And I am Lauren Lograsso. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at LoloLogro and Facebook.com/Lauren Lograsso.
All right, guys. See you next week for the finale.
Yay!
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.